She screamed, "If you walk out that door, don't you dare come back." So I said, "I won't," and let my lawyer serve the divorce papers right where she was staying with her work husband. My name is Arthur, 35M, and I still remember that night as if it were burned into the walls of my mind. The air inside our bedroom was thick enough to choke on, the kind of silence that comes before a storm you know you can't avoid. My wife, Eleanor, was standing by the closet, her hands moving with that sharp, angry precision of someone who's already made up their mind. Her expensive cream-colored luggage set was spread out on the bed, the one she only ever used for vacations. Not her normal black roller bag, the kind she took for quick work trips. This one screamed something different. I stood there in the doorway, my heart hammering in my chest, trying to keep my voice steady. "Another management summit?" I asked, my words barely above a whisper. She didn't look up from folding her silk blouse. "It's important quarterly planning, Arthur. You know this," she replied coldly. I nodded slowly, watching every movement she made. "Right," I said quietly. "I also know the hotel you're booked at is a 5-star resort, and the reservation has 2 names on it. Yours and Julian's." That was when she froze. The blouse in her hands hung in midair for a moment before she slowly straightened up and turned to face me. But there wasn't guilt in her eyes. No shame. No fear. Just annoyance. The kind of irritation you'd show someone who interrupted you during a commercial. "You've been going through my emails," she accused, her voice flat, bored even. "It was open on your tablet," I said calmly. "Left right there on the kitchen counter. So either you wanted me to see it, or you're just that careless." Her lips twisted into a sharp sneer. "You are so paranoid," she hissed, yanking the zipper on her suitcase. "Julian is my mentor, my boss. This is a team-building exercise. You're acting like a child." "A child?" I repeated, my voice bitter. The word felt like ash in my mouth. "I'm not the one lying here, Eleanor. I'm not the one packing lingerie for a business trip. Just tell me the truth." "The truth?" She laughed. That harsh, ugly sound that cuts right through you. "The truth is you're boring, Arthur. You're suffocating me with all this neediness. God, I can't even be around this energy before a big presentation." And just like that, she grabbed her handbag and carry-on, her heels clicking against the hardwood floor. She was really going to leave. "Eleanor," I said, my voice firm now, the final line drawn. "If you walk out that door to be with him, we're done. I'm not playing this game anymore." She stopped at the top of the stairs, glared at me and said coldly, "No, you're done. I'm going to be successful. I'm not going to be held back by your limp, pathetic jealousy. If you hate this so much, then you leave. If you walk out that door, don't you dare come back. I'm sick of looking at your miserable face." I stared at her for a long moment. The woman I'd loved. The one I'd helped through her MBA. The woman I'd thought would be my partner in everything. Now she looked at me like I was nothing. So I nodded once and said quietly, "I won't." Then I walked past her, down the stairs, picked up my car keys, grabbed my laptop bag, and walked out. I didn't look back. I sat in the car for 5 minutes, breathing, feeling the numbness spread through me like ice. It was like watching my life from the outside, a movie I didn't want to be in. Then, slowly, clarity came. Cold, sharp, final. I drove straight to an extended stay hotel, nothing fancy, just a decent place with a small kitchen. I checked in for 2 weeks. Then I sat on the hard sofa and pulled out my laptop. First thing I did was transfer 75% of the money from our joint account, the one I'd almost exclusively funded, into my personal savings. I left enough for groceries and gas. Enough that she couldn't claim I left her stranded. Next, I called my lawyer, David. I'd met him 6 months earlier when I first got suspicious. Back then, he told me to wait until I had proof. "David," I said when he picked up, "it's Arthur. She's on her way to the Grand Elysian Hotel with her boss. I want the papers filed and served at the hotel tomorrow morning." "Are you sure?" he asked, calm, professional. "I'm sure," I said flatly. "She told me not to come back, so I won't. But I want her to know exactly what she's thrown away. Right there, in front of him. It's aggressive, he warned. It'll be loud. Good, I said. Loud is exactly what she understands. I paid the retainer online, ordered a pizza, ate 2 slices, and fell asleep fully dressed. The next morning, my phone vibrated so violently it nearly fell off the table. 17 missed calls from Eleanor, 8 from Julian, 4 from her mother. Dozens of texts, all rage and desperation. The first voicemail was her voice, whispering like a snake. Arthur, what is this? A man just served me divorce papers in front of Julian. Are you insane? The second came minutes later, her voice louder now, furious. You did this to humiliate me. Julian is my boss. You've ruined everything. The third was all tears. Arthur, please, we were just talking. It was a mistake. Just call me. Then came Julian's smooth, condescending voice. Arthur, old man. Serving her at work was a low blow. Why don't you be a man and sit down with us to talk this out? I deleted every message. David was right. It was loud. I texted him. They've been served. Now what? Now, he replied. We lock down assets. He reminded me the house was premarital. We'd have to sell it to divide the marital value. Sell it, I typed. It's not a home anymore. He agreed, told me not to contact her. So I turned my phone off entirely. For the first time in years, I just disappeared. 2 weeks passed. I found a small beige apartment. Bland, quiet, perfect. I let my lawyer handle everything. But Eleanor wasn't finished. She came back to the house, found it empty, because I'd paid movers to pack my things and put them in storage. Her first call was to David. Where is he? She demanded. Why is everything gone? David replied coolly. Mr. Hayes has secured new living arrangements. Communication will go through me. She hung up. Then she showed up at my brother Tom's house crying, saying I'd abandoned her. Tom called me right after. Arthur, what the hell is going on? She's at my door crying about you selling the house. She cheated on me? I said flatly. I served her divorce papers while she was on a trip with her boss. Silence. Then a low whistle. Damn, Tom said. Okay, that explains why she kept screaming about you, ruining her career. Yeah. I bet Julian's wife found out. But that wasn't the end. David called again. Arthur, you're not going to like this, he said. Eleanor's filed for a restraining order. What? I snapped. I haven't even seen her in 2 weeks. She's claiming coercive control, he explained. Says you left her homeless and destitute. The hearing's tomorrow. The next morning, I sat in court, sick to my stomach. She walked in looking fragile, no makeup, hair messy, pretending to be helpless. Her lawyer, a shark in a pinstripe suit, spoke first, painting me as a monster. Then David stood, calm, collected. Your Honor, my client left the marital home after Mrs. Vance told him, if you walk out that door, don't you dare come back. He simply complied. He presented the hotel reservation, the joint account statement she drained, and proof she was still employed. The judge peered over her glasses. Miss Vance, she said, you are employed, correct? Yes, Your Honor, Eleanor whispered. And you are not homeless? I'm staying with a friend. Then motion denied, the judge said flatly. Next case. Eleanor's face went red. The look she gave me could have melted steel. As I walked out, I heard her spit, get me that house. And so the battle began. She tried every trick in the book. First, she claimed I'd stolen her things. An antique armoire, her grandmother's china, and her celestial weave. A hideous copper and glass monstrosity she'd bolted into the wall. David handled it perfectly. We're happy to remove it, he told the judge. It'll cost $4,800 to professionally detach, patch, and repaint. We'll deduct it from her share. Her face fell. The judge called it junk and told her to stop wasting everyone's time. But then her father called me, raging. You'll regret this, boy. I'll ruin your career. And he tried. He called my boss, spread lies, tried to get me fired. Luckily, my boss hated bullies. Watch your back, he warned. This guy's dangerous. The stress nearly killed me. I lost 15 pounds. I barely slept. But eventually it was over. After her father's games failed, after the Celestial Weave disaster, her lawyer finally pushed for mediation. Julian, yes, the same Julian, even showed up to support her. The final settlement came down to numbers. The house sold. The marital value was $180,000, half hers. She wanted alimony too, claiming emotional damage. David destroyed that instantly. She still works for the same man she cheated with and even got a raise, he said calmly. Then her lawyer tried to claim her art was worth $30,000. David pulled out a different document, proof the buyers found hidden mold behind it. They had to spend $10,000 on repairs. Half that cost came out of her share. When all was said and done, she walked away with $75,600. She looked at me with hatred. This isn't fair, she whispered. I made that house beautiful. It's worth $75,600, David said, closing his file. She stood, trembling with rage. You'll be alone forever, Arthur. You're a cold, empty shell. She screamed and stormed out. Julian tried to speak to me. I cut him off with one word. Don't. And that was it. The divorce was final. The money was transferred. The house was gone. And for the first time in a long time, the noise was gone too. A week later, I got one last text from her. I hope that $75,000 was worth it. You destroyed my life over money. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I realized she still didn't understand. It was never about money. It was about respect, about dignity, about finally choosing myself. I forwarded the text to David, blocked her number, and went back to unpacking my boxes. It's not a happy ending, but it's mine. And for the first time in years, that's enough. If you felt every word of the story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories of truth, strength, and letting go.